And like you say, whether she just sits in behind the leaders and rather than really taking them on to lead herself, I think it's probably ideal she just get a nice lead into it.
So it's describe this straight track to me. Then there's a stiffness about it, but it's often not easy to come from way back. Is that fair?
Yeah, it is fair. You know, as a rule, the pace holds up pretty well, but it is stiff. You know, you're on the climb pretty much the whole way. I guess, like, as much as anything, getting the fractions right in the front end is what is most important, and it's a bit of a hustle and bustle to get to the lead, but once you're there, you can pretty much call it as you like. And it is, you see closers and you think that's an eye catcher for next time, but it's not often that they come from towards the rear and manage to actually catch them. They normally close but can't catch.
And I guess that could often be because if you switch off the rail, it can just be harder work. What about the round course? Do you see that as a front runner's track? Or is that very pace relative?
No, on this ground, it again, dependent on fractions, but it very much can be a front runner's track. And you know, you don't want to be a million miles off the pace, so I think that will become apparent throughout the afternoon, as you want to be bang up there. I mean, we've seen in our first race here already, made or never headed. It might just become a theme throughout the afternoon.
What's in the bag is your tentative selection? Just remake that case? Yeah,
well, he obviously had a bit of a layoff before returning at Windsor last time. He was a bit keen, a bit fresh, but he ran pretty solid race, I thought, on return. His win came at that track last year, but this stiff 5 doesn't concern me whatsoever. I thought he looked fitter, sharper today than he did on his return, and yeah, I think there's a big run in him today.
Okay, here will come out of stall number 5 under Neil Cullen for Roger Teal. There's Lip Sync still to go forward. David Egan, Roger Cal, certainly a pace angle out of 3, and I think will be the last to go forward. Here's Mark.
Lip Sync moving forward now. They're in the gate. And they're off. Sprinting over 5 furlongs to the Molson.
This market is now in play.
Away alertly was Lil Guff. Also right up there towards the far side rail is Lip Sync, and those are the first 2. In behind them is This My Dream with Harb out quite wide. They're then being followed by Secret Handshake. There's then a break of a couple of lengths back to What's in the Bag, who's racing a length in advance of Coup de Force. Right out of its ground early is Tolstoy, and the other one struggling at the back of the field is Mulzin. Already go through halfway, running the rail and having the lead. Lip Sync out in front by just over a length to Lil Guff, who's been driven along. Harb towards the wide outside. 2 lengths away is This My Dream, who is in 4th position. Then What's in the Bag trying to pick up, angling out wide to try and challenge. At the furlong pole, Lil Guff goes on. The lead now a length and a half. In 2nd place now is Lip Sync, still closing. What's in the Bag down the wide outside. Lil Guff has the lead. Racing up close home. Lil Guff, What's in the Bag? Lil Guff, What's in the Bag? And then staying on towards the near side was Tolstoy from a long way back.
Yeah, good race. Lil Guff has won for Dan and Claire Kubler. Will Buick just fending off the challenge from What's in the Bag, who was off it early and then finished with a good old run down the outside. Back in 3rd was Tolstoy. Lil Guff wins. She was always handy, just tracking that pace or half alongside that set by Lip Sync, who's faded out of it, and 3-1 favourite. Lil Guff has a run on to score, and the front 2 just pulled slightly clear.
Yeah, as we said, you can close, but you can't often catch. And Lil Guff has been in the right position the whole way, right up with the pace. She managed to nick a couple of lengths at an important sort of place from the runner-up, What's the Bag, who did actually have to switch out. But at this stage here, Lip Sync's just managed to nick a length or 2 that the runner-up has never been able to quite reel her back in.
And running on for 3rd as well, Tolstoy has run with a good bit of promise there. Out the gate, slowly away was Tolstoy.
I think Coup de Force might have just tripped there. I think she jumped well and then maybe stumbled.
So she came out of 2. Perhaps we'll revisit. She's over towards the far side now, just tracking that pace, but maybe wanted to be a touch handier than that. The pace was set by Lip Sync. We thought that was going to be the case.
Yeah, they've gone, as we would imagine, a good strong gallop out in front, and actually What's in the Bag looked outpaced at the halfway point at Windsor the last couple of times. He's been, you know, hard on the bridle, if not a bit keen. So he certainly was outpaced at this stage anyway, but switched out, as you can see here, and did run on well. Lil Guff, she was just always in her comfort zone. I think that was, key for her. She just cruised along with ease, and Will Buick managed to keep saving until he really needed to ask for an effort.
So, are you inclined to mark up what's in the bag, or are you
Yeah, I am.
wary? You are.
No, I am, and I think as